Okay, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it. And I hope everyone had wonderful holidays and the weather was okay for you and we're ready to start the new year. So today's going to be a pretty quick meeting. We don't have a lot to go over. I do have a new system for the keys for volunteers that I'm going to go over with you. And then we can open it up for discussion. But so as you know, there have been 3 different places for volunteers to find keys. And one of the locations was in the volunteer room. There was a small box in there with just some kennel keys. There was the box in the hallway as you come in the entrance. And there was also the 5 sets of keys in the rehoming office. So now we've put all the keys that anyone would need in one place, which is the rehoming office. So I'm going to share a picture with you for the location. Okay, so this is the rehoming office, and you can see the door to the back where we have the screen, and so the keys are behind the door into the hallway in the rehoming office. So the new set, there are 20 sets of volunteer keys. They are numbered by the tag and on the board. And what you'll do is when you come and you need a set of keys, you'll take the set of keys and you'll replace it with a name tag. So, and that will have your first name and your last initial. I'm going to start putting out tags for people that I know come regularly. So I apologize if I miss you, if you come and you don't see your name, but if you don't, there are blank tags that will be hanging down at the bottom, and you'll be able to write your name and use the tag at that point. And then we have over to the left-hand side some alphabetized hooks where you can leave your name tag if you'd like, or you can keep it in the back of your badge holder. It's up to you, whatever it might be easier. Does anyone have any questions about the keys or the location or how to get them? Any questions about that? No? Okay, so that's it. Oh, let's see. Oh, thank you, Dee. I'm hoping, you know, this system will work. We keep trying new things, but I think this one, it's in one location. It's pretty simple. I think it should work out this time. And yeah, so I do have cat and dog on one set of keys. So each set of keys has 3 keys, and one is a larger normal looking size key, and that is the label on it is GGM2, and that is the door that will that is the key that will open the door to the cottages, so to get inside the cottages if they happen to be locked. And then the other 2 keys are the smaller dog kennel key and the cat kennel key, which I don't think I have an example of, but it's more like a silver key, but also very small. And so all of those 3 keys will be on each keychain. So it's just, there's no dog keys or cat keys. It's just all the kennels and the kennel door on one set. All right. Okay, so if no one has any questions about that, you know, the shelter's very, very, very full. If you've been here, you know, we have dogs just about everywhere. So, you know, anytime that you guys are able to come and assist and help with any aspect, it is so much appreciated, especially right now. We need all of the help we can get. So, you know, for you volunteers that you come almost every day, you know, or if you can only come an hour a week, you know, it's so much appreciated by the staff and other volunteers and the animals especially. So, you know, I really want to thank all of you for your dedication and your passion to help these animals. Um, I'd like to open it up now for open discussion. So if anyone has a topic or a question or anything you'd like to go over, go ahead and raise your hand or write it in the chat. I see Bobby. Go ahead.
Sorry, I couldn't find the button
Sure.
quickly. Um, just sometimes folks have like a special project that needs to be done or a request for volunteers. One thing that had come up recently was to help empty the donation bins when they were overflowing and it was raining, etc. And if something like that comes up, if the person who notices the need could just write something on one of the whiteboards in the hallway,
So
and then whoever comes in and is looking for something more to do, you know, knows this is a need today.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. So after we had our little dog committee meeting yesterday, and that was brought up that it would be helpful to have tasks that particularly tier 1 volunteers can participate in written on the whiteboard, so that if you come in and you're not exactly sure what needs to be done, or if like Bobby said, there's a special project or extra or different than normal, then we're going to start writing it on the whiteboard. But I'll send out a separate email about that. And Susan, yes, our monthly volunteer meetings are the first Saturday of each month at 4 o'clock. And I will send out a reminder and link the day before each month. Anyone else have any other questions or topics for discussion? Okay, so Kimberly mentioned in the comments that sometimes the dogs are being fed at 2:30 to 3 o'clock. And yeah, so we've been talking to the animal care team about that and feeding times and figuring out what is going to be most ideal, and also not just the second feeding but the first feeding, what time that should be done. Should it be done prior to cleaning or after cleaning? So that's something we're actually working out right now, and it's definitely a topic of discussion and we're working on it. Yeah, thank you. Oh, go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, hi there. There was some stuff brought up last meeting about safety concerns and walking dogs beyond what we've been kind of given permission to walk. And the comments made were, you know what, we should not be tattletales, and we need to be kind to each other. And I had to bite my tongue for a month. So I'm going to say something here. There's a reason why we've been rated to walk certain dogs, and it's for the dog safety and it's for the volunteer and the public safety. If Chris hasn't authorized you to walk a dog, you definitely should not walk dogs that are above what you've been rated for. You can walk dogs below. If you're intermediate, you can walk the green dogs. If you're a lead dog walker, you can walk the intermediate and the green dogs. But sometimes staff is going to unknowingly put us in a bad position. They don't know who we are and what our capabilities are. And they may ask us to take a dog out while they're cleaning. And as individuals, we know what our capabilities are. And you can politely say, hey, I'm sorry, but I can't take that dog out. And, there's no harm in doing that. The other thing is, well, by walking dogs above what you're capable of, either because of behavioral reasons or because of the dog's pull strength, or the dog being reactive to the squirrels or the cats that are loose on our facility. The dog, it's one thing if the dog pulls straight ahead, but if it takes a sideway pull on you, you're going to end up on the ground. And that's really bad for the dog, number one. I don't care if it's a volunteer. You made the conscious decision to walk somebody that you weren't supposed to be walking, but you put that dog in jeopardy. Not only that, the other volunteers, and if there's public around and that dog gets out of control, or you don't know enough to stay away from people because that dog, maybe it's not used to being around kids. God forbid if a member of the public should get bit, any incident with that dog, it causes it to be maybe unable to be fostered or even adopted, or maybe even likely that it's going to be put down. So, there may be times when I say something, and I may not be kind when I say it to you because it's said with a sense of urgency, but realize right now, I'm not out to hurt your feelings, but you need to listen to somebody who's warning you about a dog's behavior, and you need to listen now. And it's happened to me. People have told me, hey, did you see that? And, no, I didn't, but thank God you said something. And shame on you if you don't say something and you hold back because you don't want to hurt my feelings. I know that everybody there is for the animals. And you can say anything you want to me because I know, we're all grown adults and you're not there to hurt me, but you're concerned about my safety. And we have to watch each other's backs because staff doesn't babysit us. If we can't watch out for each other, who's going to watch out for us? So that's a lot of what I have to say. The other thing is that there's still some questions as to what the most current category for the dogs are, because what's on the computer in the volunteers office often doesn't match what's on the kennel cards. The kennel cards are old. They haven't been reprinted in a while, but Chris goes through and he checks the dogs. He enters the new dogs and assesses them. He checks everybody's ratings every day. So the computer is the most current. Sometimes the dogs will move up and down. Sometimes their behavior gets worse. Sometimes it gets better. And, their handler, gets downgraded, I guess. More people can handle the dog. So always go by what the computer says. If you notice a change in a dog's behavior, say something to Chris. Dogs are like us. We have our off days. Sometimes they're not feeling well. Sometimes who the heck knows? But on those kind of days, be attentive to what the dog is doing. And there have been times when I've immediately turned around and taken that dog back to the kennel because something's not right. And then you just spend a little bit of time, giving that dog some kennel side love and continue nurturing him. I mean, that's why we're there. When you walk up to the kennel, that dog is saying to itself, woohoo, man, I just hit the jackpot. And this is the best thing that's going to happen to me for at least 24 hours, sometimes for 2 or 3 days. And so, spend the time that's going to make that dog more adoptable. You socialize it, you learn its habits, you encourage positive behavior, all the things, that's going to get them out of the shelter. That's basically all I have to say.
Thank you, Gary, so much for bringing that up. and I apologize. I have Ronnie, the brat in my office, so he's barking at someone right now. But again, yeah, as I mentioned last month, it is important to make sure that you are aware of what level the dog has been labeled, and that can change. We are getting new information all the time, and they also improve, or they sometimes something triggers them and they have new behavior. You never know, like things can change, and so they may go down to a green, but they may go back up to a blue or purple, but then back down to a green. And over time, it can change with the animals, so you do need to be aware that you're looking at the most current information. And so, as Gary mentioned, Chris does update the walking list first, and then he goes in and updates the computer after that. And we were talking about a system for making sure that the correct newest kennel card is on the kennel. And so Chris and I will be finalizing that with some of the animal care team later this week. And so we should be getting to a point where the walking list and the kennel cards are matching. But as Gary mentioned, the walking list is the one that's going to be most updated as Chris is going through and doing the evaluations. John, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, so I would just kind of like to add a little bit on to kind of what Bobby had mentioned, kind of about the laundry. I was the one who posted about that earlier. I'm sorry, not the laundry, the donations. Like if you're going to bring in the donations, we would want you to sort them as well. It's kind of not cool that I heard this from some of my volunteers, that people had brought back some donations just to kind of the laundry area to be like sorted back there. And they just kind of left a huge pile there. And like Heidi and DeRay were not happy about that. Heidi being the manager person that she is. And I just kind of like to say that would be great if we could kind of sort it. If you're going to pull out like the dog stuff or whatever and just take that and put that in the dog area, that's fine. But if you're going to put laundry like somewhere, just actually put it somewhere. Just don't put it out on like the table or in kind of the general cat area. Because it like kind of got on the floors and it's kind of like all over the place, I heard. So I just kind of want to bring that up, that if we're going to kind of bring in the donations, that we also sort it. I know it's going to be a little bit of work and it's going to take some time away from the animals, but they need the donations. Like a couple of weeks ago or up until last week, like we didn't have a like laundry machine. So like we definitely needed all those blankets and stuff that were coming in. And just some help sorting it is just appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually asked about that yesterday. And when we were talking about putting the different types of tasks that people can do on the whiteboards, a better description of how to sort the donations and where things should go is going to be written up this week, so that we have instructions and people know where to take it, where to sort it, and then where the different types of items go. And if there are items that we actually don't keep or don't, I know a lot of you set things aside for like Susan to take to rescues and things like that. So we'll have a list of like what we can use, what we can't use, and should go to other rescues if they can use them. Kimberly mentioned the training to move higher up the list. So Chris, last month, he has a sign-up list in the volunteer room if you're interested in moving up the levels for the dog handling. So I believe it's still there. I would have to double check with him, but if it's not, then I would email Chris directly, and I will put his email in the chat so that he can get together with you and discuss evaluating your level.
Okay, that actually, and this is not a comment on anything other than that was probably put up like 3 months ago.
Mhm. Well, he's
Um,
been going through it since.
and I know he's so busy, and it, like I said, this isn't a comment on anything at all. I just wanted to know whether we were still working on that. Because
Yes.
I'm definitely at the bottom. And I would like to be able to do the bottom 2 colors, but I haven't, and I think I can anyway. I've been there long enough and have walked enough dogs that I think, but I was just wondering what was going on with that.
Yeah. So it's basically just getting in contact with Chris and letting him know that you're interested in moving up
Okay.
the levels. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was gonna be like a training thing where everyone on the
No,
list
yeah,
came
not
type thing.
yet. We're
Okay,
unfortunately not at a place where we can do that just yet.
Okay.
And you know, we don't actually have like the volume of people for that just yet, but he is doing it on an individual basis. And,
okay, great, thanks.
Dee, go ahead.
Hi, I've had a little bit of a problem that kind of relates back to what Gary was saying about handling dogs but it's with the kennel staff and having people approach you when you're out with a dog, which I really tried to avoid that. But some of the kennel staff, I think, because they work with the dogs every day, have a certain feeling of, I don't know, like
Like a comfort level.
comfort level goes beyond my comfort level. And I, in the past, to one in particular, had indicated we're really not supposed to have dogs go up to people. And I got a really cold attitude on that. And then it also happened with one of the other ones. And I mean, I guess it's just me putting on my big girl pants and standing up, but it makes me so uncomfortable now every time I see a kennel staff that I'm gonna have to say, "Whoa, get back!"
Okay.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? If they could be talked to, just let us alone or walk and don't approach, because it's for their safety too.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, most of them, you know, should know. I know that some of the Conservation Corps staff may not have,
Yeah,
you know,
in particular.
quite the knowledge that the others do. So yeah, we'll definitely pass that on to them as
Okay,
well.
thank you.
Janet? Oh, you're muted, Janet.
That better?
Yes.
Okay. An issue had come up at Christmas time when Girl Scouts had come in to decorate the cat cottage rooms. And they were kind of loud and boisterous and having a good time. They were really sweet. But there was, I think, an email that came out asking for them not to have so many girls in each room, especially in the feral room. And in room 3, excuse me. And because the feral cats are pretty tightly wound up enough, and they didn't need that extra volume in that room. So and I agreed with that. Even with the cats that aren't feral, some of them are kind of upset and shy and don't need that extra volume. And that was kind of an issue. And that I was reminded of that today. In particular, there were a couple families that came in with young kids that were quite boisterous and yelling and really aggravating and agitating some of the cats. And so I specifically asked the family to please quiet their kids, particularly because they can do that with the cats. And so they did. And then after the family left, one of the volunteers specifically asked me, "Are you okay to do, is it okay to do that?" And I said, "Well, absolutely. At least in my opinion, I'm not afraid to ask people to."
I mean, you know, if members of the public are here and they're doing something, or their child's doing something that you know is either going to is totally not right, or is something like that where it's loud and they're causing stress to the animals, you know, be polite, but absolutely you can say something. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, then please come get a staff member, get myself, get a member from the rehoming team, and we'll talk to them if you don't feel comfortable, but you're also not comfortable with what they're doing. But if you do feel comfortable talking to them, and you know, I believe all of you are professional people who, you know how to be polite, and I don't believe anyone would say it the wrong way. But you can absolutely say if someone is doing something that is harmful to either yourself or people around you or the animals, absolutely.
Okay, good. I just wanted to run that by you to make sure that was okay, because they were really raucous. Those kids were
Yeah, I mean,
getting really boisterous, and I thought I better bring that up at the meeting to,
Yeah.
this afternoon. So thank you.
yeah,
right.
definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Cool.
And
Thank
like I said, you know, if you don't feel comfortable saying something yourself, absolutely just come get one of us. But you are welcome to politely tell someone, you know, what they need to know.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I think I don't see any other hands raised or anything in the comments. So did anyone have anything else they wanted to bring up? Or any other questions about things that we did talk about? All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today. And, you know, I'm looking forward to the new year, and I hope to see all of you here at the shelter as much as you can. And thank you, and have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.